Hello, Bionicle fans. My name is Jordan Willis, the founder of Team Kanohi, the all-volunteer development team behind Bionicle Masks of Power. For the last 8 years, we have been hard at work building the Bionicle game of our dreams. The project has taken many shapes during that time, from the legacy version of the game to Trials of the Great Spirit and ultimately 2.0. Dozens of talented individuals have contributed to the project through the years. We are deeply grateful for their hard work and the support of the Bionicle community. Through it all, we've endeavored to communicate openly with the LEGO Group, following their fair play guidelines for fan projects in good faith. Unfortunately, the LEGO Group's stance on fan works appears to have changed. Despite our efforts to work with them, we have been asked to shutter the project in its entirety. Transparently, we are surprised by this development, given our project's age and the LEGO Group's reputation for amicable relationships with fan projects. Nonetheless, we are beheld to their whims and have no choice but to comply. We are particularly aggrieved to inform you that we had planned to launch the upcoming Free the Band demo on August 10th. The demo is feature complete and has been in the polishing and bug fixing phase for some time now. Although we are unable to release the demo, before we scrub the project from the internet in full, we wanted to share a complete walkthrough of the project in its current state. Please keep in mind that we still had 3 months of polish to complete before launch, meaning that what you're about to see has known issues. However, we are still very proud of what we've built. In addition to the full walkthrough, we are posting a companion video that includes developer commentary, and we'll be sharing more content from the game's development. You can find that linked in the description. You might be wondering, what's next for Team Kanohi? We might be finished with the Bionicle brand, but we aren't done making games. We plan to take the past 8 years of experience working on Masks of Power to create a brand new, original IP from our team. Stay tuned. And so, without further ado...
Wow.
That's good.
That was really good, yeah.
That's a smooth transition. Well, all right, do we start now?
Yeah, starting here.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. That was a good intro, Joe. All right.
Okay. All right.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello
What's up?
Hi.
to
Hello.
the video game.
Whoa, there they come.
Are we going to introduce ourselves now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. All right, you first, Joe.
Start with Joe.
Yeah.
And
I am Joku1231, or Jordan Willis. I am the project lead creator, founder of Team Kanohi, and I also do a lot of programming. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Francisco Perez. I'm the lead composer of the project. I've been working on this game like for 7 years, I think. And yeah, people call me Pancho as well. So.
Yeah, I am Pascal Krabbe, also known as freetimecoder, and I'm the lead technical artist and also, I don't know, guy for everything that just falls under the gutters. And yeah, I've been working on it for, I think, 4 years at this point, and that's me.
Hey, I'm Garrett. I am the audio design lead, one of the composers and project manager for Massive Power. I have also been here for about 4 years. Feels like just yesterday when I came over from Quest for Mananui and joined this team. Yeah, and that is me.
Lucy, 3D lead artist. I've been here, I think I'm the Johnny Come Lately. 3 years, I think.
Hello, my name is Mark Steffley. You probably know me as Markle. I'm the PR manager as well as a writer for Team Kanohi. I've been here since 2017, so it's like 7 or so years now. I can't do math right now, but for a while.
All right, and I am Ethan Godwin, or Next Ethan, and I am the level design lead on the game, and I've been on the project for almost 4 years now. So, this is the demo.
This is the demo.
We did it.
Free the Band demo.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to shout out was the intro cutscene that was made mostly by OniFox, who is a cutscene wizard. She does very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like to shout out the amazing amount of problems with that cutscene that we ran into.
Yeah.
We had to overcome.
Yeah.
Specifically with the chimes. You notice that the chimes don't actually like physically animate in there because, well, I don't know why, but I have to like. I had to like set their position to 0 and then set it back to like where it was. So there's a lot of issues with that, but it did turn out really nice.
No.
And also I want to shout out the sound design that was made mostly by Gort here. It's really well done sound design.
Oh
If you
yeah.
ask me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank
This
you.
game
Yeah.
sounds phenomenal.
On the subject of sound design, I want to acknowledge getting those hit feedback impacts that we're hearing right now was probably the single hardest thing that came up from a sound perspective. I think there's like 5 different layers of sounds with like different variants. Because one of the big pieces of feedback we got from the first gameplay video we posted is that the hit feedback was really like blunt and didn't have like a lot of crunch to it. So getting that right took a very, very long time.
Yeah. Like the hit sounds went so much. They had so much. It's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah. They ended up in a really
So-
good place.
Yeah. So what's happening right now is, as you saw in the intro cutscene, Lewa is like heard some sound going on down the path, and this is kind of our tutorial intro path because things are going to open up, but we need to make sure people know how to control the game and everything first. So there's your little kind of intro to how combat works and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Joe also put together a like a kind of slowdown tutorial that I think was borked in this build and isn't working, but it was like a cool little thing that showed up where you were prompted to dodge when the new Irama first attacks you.
Yeah, it only happens if you like get into the position where you can pull off a dodge, which is it's just a little bit stingy of that when that actually happens, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I did most of the tutorial systems, and I was pretty pleased with how those turned out. Also, the dialogue systems.
Yes. I'm a big fan of these 2 Matoran guys here.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're,
Yeah,
they
I think I was working on like art for like such a long time and really lost sight of like, oh yeah, this is like a Bionicle project. It's not like a character action game. Like when you talked to those first Matoran, I was like, oh yeah, like the charm
Oh yeah.
of these little guys is here.
That's, it's the
Absolutely.
reality
Like-
of game development. Like you'd never get to play your own game.
Yeah. Except, but then whenever I do see it, I'm like, what? Like, shout out to everybody who is on writing because like there's so much charm in all the dialogue and stuff.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Yes.
So,
The water.
all right, go ahead.
Oh, I'm really happy with. Oh, we're exploring. Yo, is it that down here? I didn't know that was down here.
Yes.
As I said,
Aren't you the level
I
designer?
don't know our game.
Yeah, so that's a skill gear, which are kind of like badge-like upgrades that you can find throughout the game, where you have a kind of limited number of slots to equip them. This one is my favorite one, which they've already gotten, which is Afterburner, which Joe also put together, that does damage to enemies when you get a perfect dodge.
Oh,
Yeah, it sends out
Yeah,
an elemental
that's
blast in the direction.
Yeah, I like how
Seen the
it's
map.
a 3D map instead of just
Yeah.
2D.
Yeah, the navigator was something we had been working on for the longest time. It
Yeah,
was probably
probably
one of
since the
the
beginning.
Yeah, it's probably one of the longest like actively developed things in this. Like
Yeah.
things would like you can come and go, but the navigator is always like, oh, we need to add the map now, and then that's worked on for like a few months, and then so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout
I
out to
remember-
Omega Lucas for all the work on the UI.
Yeah,
and
on
stuff.
UI.
Yeah.
yeah. The navigator, looks especially great. I think that's
The
based on
map,
like a nog.
Yeah, the map was sort
Yeah.
of in planning for forever, and then we kind of went until the last second for what playtesting already had started, and it's like, well, maybe we should add a map, and then I dished it out in like a week.
Yeah. So
It works good.
So what's happening here in this footage, or what was about to happen? I actually haven't seen this part of the footage yet. This was recorded by David, who joined us for some QA stuff later on. But this trunk right, this trunk right here, and this bird that flies along the path, which is similar to the one at the beginning of the tutorial path, was added because people always followed. This was kind of a level design oversight on my part, and putting like a long body of water. People naturally follow that. They would go the wrong direction and follow that little creek. So we just
actually,
kind of,
yeah, I hate to tell you this, Ethan, but that happened again. I actually had to tell the guy to not go down that way.
Oh gosh, yeah.
This is the first instance of our trying to avoid yellow paint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The scratches.
The scratches on the ledges. So the idea was if you're below it, it like highlights. So and when you climb up it, it sort of becomes more naturalistic. So the idea was if you need to use it, it's obvious, but like once it's out of need, it becomes more naturalistic. So it kind of fades away into the environment.
It's a very, very elegant solution to avoiding the yellow paint.
Yeah. And also, I guess we didn't talk about it a second ago. We just got our first mask power, or showed the mask power for the first time.
Oh yeah, the masks of power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Indeed, have powers.
That's the name.
Our second fight with the Rama here.
And
I
I
know
think this is the first one where you can actually hear combat music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I know ASCII put a lot of work into getting the Rama to actually fly properly.
because they actually do
I remember.
3D navigation.
Yeah, because like as far as I'm aware, that's incredibly complicated to like get an object to actually do that.
It is,
or, like with AI driving it. So
Yeah.
So I know we've talked like in like blog posts and stuff about the voice acting, but I am in love with how all the characters sound.
Yes.
We worked with Out of Gloom, who created an original Motoric conlang based on like Bionicle language and Matoran words, and every like line of dialogue you hear has an actual translation that it means. So if you want to learn the language and try to figure out what they're saying, that could be a fun activity if you want to do all that work.
Yeah, that's out there.
Well, okay, but to be clear though, they're not saying the same lines you're reading. They have basically cue sheets.
Oh my god!
I actually made sure
that drum.
Yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
What?
Garrett.
So cool.
I've never seen that. Sorry.
Also,
shout out to
It's awesome. It also has
you
like
can
two
tell them
different
to
things if you hit it hard.
if you hit it with the heavy attack, then it does a heavier hit.
Shout out
Oh my gosh.
to Anne. She worked on that in between life stuff for like a year.
I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love the
quest
banjo
complete.
kazooie aspect of it. I miss when these guys were stuck in the pose where they looked like they were going to stab you.
Oh yeah.
The various poses where they stab themselves in the face with their weapons. There might even still be some.
That's Kaylie, our art director, custom built piece.
Oh yeah.
Which,
I think that came
speaking
together
of,
in an afternoon.
yeah.
So.
And speaking of, she's not on. She's not for commentary with this, but all of her work on the animations, absolutely stellar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it really gives
Yeah.
character to everything.
So good.
Yeah, and also a lot of the other animation work from people like Frambo, who aren't on the team currently. Oh, there's our
And
bird
Oni
Kayla.
actually.
Another
Yeah,
special.
the bird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bird.
Yeah, and also I guess we
you can
didn't
pet the
say.
bird.
Yeah, we just got the main quest for the demo.
Yeah. Getting the band back together.
Yeah. That was I was proud of that quest name when I thought of it.
One more big knife fact. I believe the intent was this would be a Kikanalo horn. We had an 01 build of the Kikanalo, I believe, for Pawahi
Right.
that would use this piece as its horn.
That's cool.
Sick.
That's
I
neat.
believe was the intent.
That's very cool. See, I'm learning things here too.
To take a minute.
I mean, it's
to talk
like-
about
yeah.
the Matoran AI, something that I have. I mean, I wasn't really initially. Well, I guess I kind of always was taking control of the Matoran AI since even like before Togs, because I always wanted to have them like have a conversation state where they went and would talk to each other, and various ways how to do that. But in this demo, we didn't manage to get all of what we wanted because we wanted like a schedule system and all that, but we opted for just having a flee and cower state. So as you saw at the beginning when the Rama were here, they were cowering and they were running away if they got too close and so on. And eventually in the full game there would have been Matoran fighting Rahi and other Matoran running away and Matoran sleeping and eating and milling about.
Yeah.
I even had a framework. While we were working on like the polishing and bug fixing, I had a framework of the schedule AI that I was working on just to do something new, because polishing and bug fixing is not the most fun thing.
You got that right.
Yeah.
And it just
like,
worked. It just worked.
Well,
it just worked. This was always kind of an important part of the game for me too, is like kind of like embracing sort of the coziness of like hanging out with the Matoran in like a village, and like it doesn't feel dark, it feels kind of wholesome, it feels kind of warm. Just kind of, I feel like that's kind of the energy that Manog gave back in 2001. And capturing that I thought was really important.
Totally.
And we really wanted to lean into this like whole cozy, like also the Rahi have like, were intended to have sort of their own lives going on where they eat, sleep, and walk around and do stuff.
Yeah.
And like for the gameplay reveal, you can actually, I think we made it so that the Matorans, like we implemented them patrolling and like looking at over things. But yeah,
they do. Some of them at least do wander here. That they have some of them have patrols and such. So that's
you can see them wandering around, and I think this central outpost area really does capture that vibe. Wow, yeah, I love the music.
The music goes with is so good. It might be my favorite track.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Maybe I could bring up an art thing I wanted to say at this point. So like there are some interviews with the Templar developers from Matti, the online game, where they talk about how you're experiencing the Mysterious Island Matti from like the Matoran perspective in that game. Like the toys is like you're the hero, but in the game you're like the little kids, and like the Toa, you look up to them like big brothers. So I thought it was interesting that our game is like returning 20 years later as the Toa. Now the Matoran are like the little kids. And playing with scale as much as possible, so just keep an eye on that. Like the world is built by the Matoran, so it's to their scale. So you're kind of a little bit out of place, coming back to Matti so much later.
That's a really neat.
That was kind of a lofty.
That's a very good point.
Sort of thing. To try to keep in mind, and then against that is the like bigger scale of like Matti, the island, and the robot is like above you as like God or whatever. So I thought scale was an interesting, like thematic thing that is kind of in the background of like trying to have purpose with some stuff we built.
And I think that comes through. And I remember so many discussions about like how big want to go with this thing. Is it usable by the Toa? Is it usable by the Matoran? Do we crouch into the huts or no?
So many discussions
the fucking huts! I remember that. That was a huge discussion.
Like the railings here were like a big thing of like, are the railings intended to keep like the player on a place, or is it intended for like the Matoran to like be able to lean against in like a night, like they're like a night in the jungle, they just hang out here? Like, where do you put the height of things so that it's like, is this for me or is it for the little guys? Like,
also shout out to like basically the only dialogue tree I wrote in the demo right there.
It's great because
Thank you.
I like it. Little world building stuff.
It was a very recent implementation too. That was my first time seeing it. Yeah, this was all like there were some like recent outpost like changes that were especially spearheaded by Garrett that led to those guys having that dialogue tree, I thought, or maybe y'all worked on that independently. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I pushed pretty hard to like build out the outpost a little bit more. I wound up learning how to use Unreal Engine in a way that I never had before, just to make a proof of concept, which actually wound up being pretty fun.
That was a funny day for me. I was trapped at work and just seeing you struggling with that. I was like, I wish I could help.
I still don't know how splines work, even though I've theoretically used them a few times already.
No one does.
Yeah, it's
no one does.
so confusing.
Lost knowledge.
There are some things in game that they just use and never question.
They are articulate.
Meditation stone.
Let's go. Shout out to me.
Shout out to
it's a shame we can't show the TOA switching here, because the TOA switching looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
We did show that in a social media post a while back.
That's true. Showing it off. And I think it still looks pretty similar.
Yeah,
the version of that.
Yeah.
But you know what we're not going to see here, though, that I thought was a really cool touch, is that if you switch to a different TOA, the color of the energy that like comes out of the stone changes to like the corresponding color of the TOA. So if you switch to Tahu, it'll be like pink glow, and if you switch to Onua, it's like a darker green. It's pretty.
I think it corresponds with the eye color.
Yeah.
I'm
We didn't see that,
Yeah.
but we did see that later. Later in the footage when we get some cosmetics, we'll see that in the HUD. We can see that in the.
I was hoping to show that.
Cosmetics. Those will be. We'll talk about those.
So I believe right now we're part of the quest is there's a lot of
figure out
for some of the ledges
where the band has been taken.
So we're asking around for clues. This guy has my voice. I don't know, did anybody else on here
Yeah, no, I've had there's been a couple Matoran with me in there.
I think I wanted to record, but we already had like every Matoran taken, so in the end I didn't record anything.
I think the only character that I noticed that I was voicing was Kaiga later on.
Yeah, who you will see in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this guy is pointing us towards a couple potential locations where the Matoran, the band members, might have been taken, mentioning the waterfall cliffs. I always really like that dialogue also, where Lewa can't let go of the fact that this dude thought that...
How dare you?
I think that was Garrett.
Is so great.
Yours.
The set here is just amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was so cool seeing this all brought together. Sorry, go ahead.
It really looks like a jungle. I feel some games struggle to actually pull something like this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
I feel like that's a lot of Kaylie's work. She put real much effort into like making this look amazing.
Like even back when we were we made the environment teaser, the reason that we chose Wahi to focus the demo around is because out of all the like environments that we had made that we showed off in that first trailer, we all thought that Wahi looked the best. and it was going to be
the most technical.
It was the most like
yeah.
Yeah.
So once we pulled this off, pulling the other like Wahi, Kawahi, and everything, it would be easier. Yeah.
There's also the most
little trouble with the controls.
Exhausting to art
on this one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a fun move.
Yeah.
That's a fun move to do.
It's pretty.
It's a fun move, but I really wanted to give the sound another pass on that one because it really felt like it shows up out of nowhere after that initial swing. I wanted like a charge up and like kind of like a dismount sound too, but we just never got around to it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah,
I believe that one ASCII especially worked on, who's also not here unfortunately, but
that move. Yeah.
There's a.
Also, that Matoran was voiced by me. Hee hee.
Nice.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right.
Also the quest sound. I think you remade it, right, Garrett? Like you
we had to
redo the original sound from the animations from 2001, and you just made the thing from scratch.
And then you want like a third.
Yeah, and I was never super happy with it. You know, like I was never super happy with how it came out.
Dude, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I always loved it.
Creator's
It's so
problem.
like, it's such a good. I don't know. It feels so authentically Bionicle,
Yeah.
and like it's such a. It really like punctuates like the moments.
Ooh.
All right. So I guess we're
Oh, no, the
exploring.
original-
Oh, sorry.
just
Go
gonna
ahead.
explain.
No, I was just gonna say the original cue for that from like the 2001 CDs has such like a, I don't know, like a breathy quality that my version was missing, and I tried to get it, but I feel like it's close enough. There's a point where you have to let it go and just be like,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's good enough.
Yeah.
I also really like how those blueberries look. The
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love
the
those.
texture on them.
Finding
Yeah.
the stem
Yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
It
was.
was
I
like
remember.
a Lego piece, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that texture, it was very nice.
yeah.
We had
So-
a fun time kind of, you see it in the tools, like sort of picking and choosing where we take Lego geometry, but then we apply like realistic concepts to it. It's like in the intro, you can see the blueberry like up close, and it's like supposed to be like real fruit, but the shape of it is like Lego pieces, a little distorted. Shout out to Volex for totally crushing that and like coming up with great inspiration for like the fruits that it's made out of.
I want to eat
It's
a
like
blueberry now.
yeah, it's like it's like some kind of weird
true.
pink apple on top of a pineapple bush. Like,
You know what it looks like to me?
For
you know
some
how you can
reason,
grow-
I feel it's like a sour kind of fruit.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Have you ever seen those things where you can like grow a watermelon into like weird shapes by like enclosing it in a plastic case? That's how that looks to me.
Roll a
Yeah,
watermelon in that shape.
yeah, probably
Yeah,
literally
why
yes.
not?
Yeah.
We got
do it.
square ones.
Using them.
Yeah. Oh, so the eating animation
Yeah.
with the hands.
Consumable
That's-
use. Yeah.
Yeah, the absorbing. Because do they eat?
that's
Yeah,
canonical,
because,
isn't
like,
it?
Yeah.
I don't
canon.
eat.
We were like,
Through their
they,
hands.
it's like kinda they absorb energy or from it.
With the Rama on the screen, would it be a good time to complain about transparency?
Yeah.
Ireland?
Yes.
Oh,
Go for it.
it's always a good time.
Went through a lot of sort of iterations. So the Rama use like our sort of lowest end. So the Toa skull and the Rama's Ruru mask use like the lowest end transparencies we have to sort of keep performance up because you never know how many Rama will be on screen. That's why their masks kind of look a little odd if you look at them like too close. But I think it gets the memory of what that looks like across.
Probably a good call with them being like known for like the swarms and everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, them being like green, like in this like jungle, like the big blue eyes really help them just set them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
pop. See,
By
like,
the way, that track over there, I got inspired by the Matanui online game, the first one, when you're flying on the Gecko bird and throwing discs. Like I
Oh yeah.
tried to capture that, trying to use the same instruments and stuff like that. I think it works.
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All the
yeah, I know. I could feel that actually. I don't remember the name of the track that is, but I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
so
about.
it has the right of Valkyries.
Yeah.
That's,
Like
it starts
that
with that, but
whole
then
scene.
it moves into like a more percussive thing. Then
Yeah.
that I get that from that, yeah.
all right.
And then
So
somehow missing this ledge again, even though I put a spotlight on it and like a light below it, and
it's tough, man.
Oh yeah, I had to tell him.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was in the session with him when he was recording this part, and I had to be like, "It's on the tree. You have to go that direction."
Yeah,
So he
this
could,
was
like, actually
that
find
was
it.
also something
Here
we
he
were
is.
talking a lot of. Yeah, so this is our first band member, but with those wood ledges
Vahkiti.
specifically, I think we were all pretty aware that they didn't do a good enough job of like drawing the player's attention, and that was one thing that we wanted to change before this point. Unfortunately, just didn't get around to it. But yeah, we were working on solutions to make those ledges kind of more noticeable. Just
Yeah.
didn't quite get there. But
One
yeah.
solution I had proposed was making the nail in the center do a similar glowing thing to like how the scratches do. So like when you're below it, it'll glow, that sort of whitish, and then like fade out at a distance. But yeah, that was pretty low priority considering a lot of the other.
We had a lot to do.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, this is why this is why the whole like yellow paint thing is such a debacle, because especially in an open-ended game, it is so like it's a really like careful balance, like trying to direct people's attention without it feeling too hand-holdy.
Yeah. Also, I know I'm like this is me right now because for the past like number of months I've been like problem centric. To where like I identify the problems and notify people about the problems. So sorry if I'm being a little negative, but you see these Fiku respawn and we didn't move very far. It's because the behavior of the spawning system it never got fixed. Yeah, they were supposed to like.
And it was on the to-do list.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fine. The Fiku are small enough for it to be like a pretty common bug.
Yeah, that's true, but it goes for everyone.
Yeah,
like,
it goes for everyone.
Yeah, it's not a bigger issue.
So if there's some waka, like you defeat him and suddenly 3 seconds later he's already there again.
Yeah, and
We did just pass some little bugs.
Yeah, we passed those the Hodo fellows. They will usually attack. They're pretty interesting because their AI is essentially, if you get too close, then they'll start attacking you, and then if you leave their territory, they'll let you sort of pass. But
I want to mention
lucky as to not get attacked there. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to mention the culling problems that we have not yet solved at this point. There is supposed to be a big stone miru in the swamp, and you literally can't see it because it's being culled. So
yeah, that was
it'll pop up when you get close enough.
That was like something I was actively working on, trying to fix in the past few days. It was like before this happened, and I
spent like a whole day remaking H-lots, but it didn't do anything. Like it literally took like 5 hours to bake, and it was for nothing.
So tragic. Yeah. Also, while we're here now, so now we're in the Foul Swamp area. So you'll get those like kind of big stingers whenever you get to a new area, which I always really loved. But this area was mainly designed originally by Mosby, who was on the level design team. We kind of split up the different areas in the demo, like assigned different ones to different people. So I mainly handled the Meandering Heights, which was the area that we just came from. And this is one of Mosby's. But I do really like it. It's a nice kind of like vista area that lets you kind of appreciate a lot of the visuals of the game.
Yeah, it is really nice.
No, I think the like really foundational original plan for the whole map was like, I think Daz came up with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, does
like
I think as far as like the bigger area.
Yeah, and that was back when before I joined. He was like level design lead and stuff, but there was okay. So that's our first mask
of power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, hey, look, it's Vahkiti.
Can go fast.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there we go. Yeah, so this mask, I think it's a very nice utility mask, just for the simple fact that you can run really fast with it. But what we really wanted to do with it, at least initially, was to have it be used to cross big gaps. The trouble with that was that the Miru is a double jump mask, so your instinct is to use that for it.
Double jump and levitation.
So we eventually just opted more for it being kind of player choice, like player expression stuff, like however you want to approach it, and we thought that was fine, especially because the Kakama still had plenty of use and that it was just really useful as a utility mask. So.
But also, like the Miro and the Kakama were like a nightmare to balance. Like I think we have
yes,
constantly
each other
struggling with them.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Second band member. 2 down.
Yeah. Yeah, these I love all the little band member interactions and stuff. But yeah, we're already 2 down.
Yeah,
and get a nice view of the swamp here.
beautiful woodwork.
Man, this game looks good.
Yeah.
It does look really good.
Yeah. I got used to testing at like lower settings for the sake of performance, but whenever I ended up playing, like doing a playthrough or something at higher settings, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I actually think I never got to actually play it in this quality. For me, like the first time I'm seeing like a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, the performances, yeah.
There's snakes.
Oh,
I don't know if you've been talking about the snakes yet, the bog snakes.
We never figured
Yeah.
out an actual name for them. We wanted to have like a more bionicle-y name than just bog snake, because that's like
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
descriptive
we
name.
got a whole list of unimplemented Rahi that kind of just have like plain names.
Oh yeah,
I love the snakes for their tongues.
yeah.
They do that like
Snail.
Power wire.
snail.
Yes.
Yo! That guy's awesome. I didn't know there was a snail.
Yeah, that's also like Kaylie went on a small critter spree.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so this is the memorial for Craney, who, for those watching who don't know, was the lead of our sister project, Quest for Matti. Tragically passed away. This is kind of just our little nod to his contributions, and this is a Matoran text right there. Oh God, what does it say? I wrote it. I should remember what that says. Can anyone read
It was
Matoran?
like creators
Not
may
fast.
pass on, but their creations live forever, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So little nod to Craney and Quest for Matti and that entire project.
Yeah.
That was really sweet.
That's nice.
The work on that was really great. Shout outs to Art for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when that trailer dropped, here at the team we were like in chaos because it was like, oh my god, that looks amazing.
I think in the end though, it ended up bringing a lot of like our team together,
It
and
was-
I know.
It was a very
Yeah.
it was a very interesting time because we were like a day away when that trailer dropped. We were like a day away from releasing Trials of the Great Spirit, the first version of it. There's the mirror gate,
Oh,
and
band.
our rescued band.
Shout out
members.
to Christy for taking control of this.
Yeah,
And
that was
Physics Gen's
Stormtruck
final.
who put together the memorial, right?
Yeah.
yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Can I just note really quick? So with the Matoran band members, as you collect them, they'll stand by the gate and play only their own instrument, and you can, no matter what order you collect them in, it'll always like reflect that in the music there.
Yeah.
Which was kind
Yeah.
of a fun.
Yeah.
That's a really nice
way to approach
touch.
it.
It is.
Christy also
Yeah.
headed up the instrument arting, so like that's her whole corner.
And the mural, I think, right?
Yeah, the
big gate.
mirror and the instruments they're playing, which I absolutely love. Like the work that she did with the instruments. I think some of my favorite art in the game is those 4 instruments.
But just
Yeah.
to finish what I was saying, Craney's project and Quest for Matti did end up kind of inspiring us to be better, and as we kind of did that, we brought on a lot of people from Quest for Matti, or people that saw our project because of it, so on. So it in the end was very is a very good thing for all of us.
Yeah, it was basically the time where it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
guys, you hold on, I got something. Don't worry. Then I made the dioramas.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
That was really
Shout
the
out
big
to-
moment. Yes,
Shout out to Garrett for getting hit with a brain blast and getting this telescope brought together in like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was such a random, just a random world building thing. But maybe we could talk about Volo now a little bit. So basically,
Yes. Yes,
the
please.
thought, yeah. So the thought process here was basically, wouldn't it be cool to have Barra Magna in this guy showing like the big crater, and like we're taking some like creative liberties here, just like the rule of cool a little bit. But then like just thinking about it a little bit farther, the Matoran on Matanui wouldn't know it was Barra Magna, right? They'd have like their own word for it. So that word wound up being Volona, and that is kind of like working its way into the game's mythology the same way the Red Star does. And the whole point of Lumi the Astronomer is just like kind of a channel to explain all that to the player and be like, yeah, we're gonna kind of doing our own thing a little bit here, you know, where it is an homage to Bionicle, but we're not afraid to like try out some of our own ideas.
And
I believe Volona translates to Great Sphere in Matoric, in the Conlang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where that name came from.
I love this as
But
as a return to like the adventure-y exploration routes of like Monog. You can play with this like random telescope.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I love when
Oh,
games.
this part's crazy.
I love that the telescope stand is like it's not a robot. No, it's the rubber rider's wheel.
yeah, the wheel.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yeah. So
Wait, what?
Oh my god. Temp dialogue.
Oh shit, what was that? That was like some random text showing up.
Yeah, the idea was that you could click on things and then Louis would explain what you're looking at. But
Oh,
wow.
just stay temp text.
Yeah, I put that in
Oh my
there
god.
like aspirationally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it'd be neat if
Hook it
you
up
click
to the
on
dialogue
things and it has like
system
some
is
dialogue, just
yeah.
because so much of the dialogue is so charming. I was like, gotta find more places to like get writers to like inject charm into this. Like,
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, it's gone so.
Oh, wow.
I also wanted to
I don't know.
These
how
bugs
that's
are
being
annoying.
this, Like,
leave it off in the telescope.
Even in the old games, they were annoying.
I wanted to say about the telescope. Yeah, when you point it at things, it reads the like Unreal name
Object
address
ID,
of that
yeah,
object.
yeah. And it puts it out there in
I
the
think
turret.
it's I think it's a fun way to, I don't know, break down the barrier of like game development of like, oh yeah, these are like all objects that the game is loading, and also it kind of connects sort of narratively to like, oh, these are like little robot guys, so maybe their understanding of the world is more programmatic, like
the way of the Matrix.
yeah. And the fun gimmick is if you wore the Ruru while you're using the telescope, it translates everything on screen.
Is it the
Into
the,
English. Or
yeah.
Rao. Sorry, Rao.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah,
Gotcha.
the Ruru.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Ruru's night vision.
Which the route unfortunately wasn't in
Lost
this,
bionicle points there.
but we did have dynamic font switching for text.
And
Yeah.
shout out to Omega Lucas for just crushing the like UI. Like we worked with back and forth on that for a couple of days, and I just love how that came together.
Oh yeah, all the UI is really that one ledge does that every time. I don't know why.
It's a feature, not a bug. It's supposed to be like to prevent you from accidentally going over the edge.
Yeah, exactly. It's a feature. It's a feature.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? Kralich is playing this on mouse and keyboard. We definitely should have had him
Yeah.
grab a controller.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that because the way he's pivoting,
Yeah.
like in four directions, is a little weird.
Although it's
Yeah.
fine really because I'm not entirely sure how functional controller was on this build. I think it would have been fine, but it may have been completely unfunctional.
The mask selection was always like a little funkier with controller, but
I always thought it was
fine.
funkier with mouse keyboard because
Or whatever you are not used to, I guess.
Yeah, it's
I know
These guys.
I recorded
I loved, by the way, this this interaction where you come back and it's like, well, now I have my business somewhere else, and they're like, well, maybe you should be careful. And
These guys are
and they
better
open
than
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never sure about like burying like critical progression behind a dialogue conversation like that, but it didn't seem like anyone would miss it because he's the only thing you can do is you head back towards the.
Well, believe
main
me, you
outpost.
could just circumvent this in many ways.
Yeah, that was always another struggle. Is like the Toe have so many abilities with the masks and everything that like it's definitely a challenge to like design around that stuff. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how that all ended up. Overall, the mirror is maybe a little broken, but like that was just kind of a consequence of the sort of the kind of development environment that we had to work in and everything.
Yeah.
I was going to advocate going forward that we like try and be more open with it and like try and see there's that.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it was.
Tutorial.
Oh,
Fuck. That's not how that's supposed to go.
Yeah, I don't know why it's over here.
oh, it is though.
Oh, it's probably because you're back in the volume for that tutorial,
Yeah.
like towards the beginning.
It's loaded in,
maybe.
yeah.
That's weird. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
Like, it was just that I did. Oh, there was supposed to be a reward here. We never added, but
I think it says some kind of item.
yeah, there was literally text that just said some kind of item here.
I think that was
Probably an
text that I put there like 2.5 years ago or something. See, that's the thing with putting together all these areas though, is because the project, like, because we were all like doing this in our free time and stuff, the progress that got made could be very spotty at times. So we went. A major issue. I'm just going to here a little bit. A major issue during the whole time was that we never. It took a very long time to get to properly playtesting stuff, like with for players, because there was just so many systems that needed to be implemented in order for the demo to be able to be played through, like on your own without guidance from like somebody watching telling you what to do, like needing tutorial pop-ups implemented and needing different quest scripting systems to be set up. I'll get to this in a second, but
Gotcha.
So that just meant that while traditionally you would kind of have like really basic block out for an environment and stuff, and play test that to like see how the level design is working and stuff, because of the situation we had, we were kind of forced to just go ahead with set dressing and prettying it up and everything. If in like a perfect world, I would have loved to have gotten to do some more playtesting early on, but we did what we could with it.
And we basically had to just blindly trust the process because many systems weren't working at the time things were designed.
Yeah, those little Hoi turtles we saw back there are the only characters in the demo that have drinking, eating, and sleeping AI behavior.
Oh.
What?
Just they do?
Area. Yep, they do. They all huddle together when
I had no idea.
That's awesome.
I think they're in the dev room and they're doing that.
The funniest thing is that they're also slow, though, and because it's based on time of day, no one will stand around and watch them do their thing.
So it's basically an Easter egg.
Yeah, it just shows the perfect characters.
I believe there'd be like a 2 or 3 hour video out there of someone just watching them.
Watching the turtles.
How turtles chill too.
Oh,
yeah. Also, while I didn't get it, I was yapping about something else, but I want to say that so now we're in the abandoned Koro area, which was designed mainly originally by Box Turret when he was on the team, and this is kind of the concept for it is. It kind of used to be. It was an attempted Koro establishment by the Lematoran that fell apart due to attacks from the Nui Rama.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a sad air about it.
This is probably my favorite location in the entire demo.
Mine too.
Yeah, I love.
It's by far the most ambitious.
Oh yeah.
I have a big
largely inspired by the GBA games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a mechanical tree in the middle that you'll see a little bit later.
Yeah, I have a big love-hate relationship.
I especially love
because it.
I love how the music is
so good.
I love how the music is so intense just for a PvP crew.
so many of them. Poisonous.
Yeah, poison.
I love in this area, like if you just stand around and hear all the wood creaking and like the whole ambient sound design is so
so great.
Awesome.
It's very ominous.
Yes.
Yeah, but also very chill at the same time.
Yeah, it's a very interesting vibe. All
so
right.
we were talking over the dialogue a little bit, but Kaiga back there told us a bit. Oh, of the Watamaka tree.
Yeah, I got my new.
It's one of the last editions from Christy and Joe.
But we're looking for a mask so we can restore the water, and we're going in this cool cave.
Yeah.
I said just this cave.
Nice.
Oh yeah. You really came through for the cave set dressing.
Seriously, cave set dressing is like one of the most annoying things. Thank you for
It is because you have like 3 stones, and it's like, well, make an interesting cave out of this.
3 stones, and you got to line 4 different walls with it, floor and ceiling, and 2 walls at least.
Yeah, and they all have holes at the back.
Oh,
and it's like,
God.
don't.
Patch and a patch.
Here's another OniFox original cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah, another.
This is so
yeah.
awesome. This
You
like,
may
it caught me totally off
recognize-
guard when I first saw this.
Yeah.
They recognize that
so
footstep
professional, so cool.
from the As Above, So Below trailer.
Oh,
Right.
Baka,
nice. That's cool.
this guy. I'm glad he's colored correctly.
Unfortunately, I think this guy's bugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bugged.
Ethan, you've
really
and not just
It's just an easy mode.
He's just chilling over there.
So
I know, right?
He just wants to say hi.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he just wants to say hi. Why are you hitting him?
Yeah.
He's trying to show off his mask
Just
collection.
grab the mask. Go.
I will say, wasn't our kind of? Oh, sorry.
The mask's over there. Just grab it.
Yeah, you could just jump up. Well, I don't know.
He's gonna fight you. He's just chilling.
Yeah, the idea is you're in the midst of fighting. You don't have time for
Yeah.
grabbing the mask, of course.
I am at least,
expected-
This was a cool mini boss.
I am at least grateful that
It's-
the music didn't bug, because this fight had a really bad music bug.
Yes.
Like start,
Oh, yeah.
repeat like over and over again. Yeah,
Or that.
but we do have
The
new
Jugger wasn't like pushed through the wall.
Yeah, he would do that.
Yeah.
But
So now we got the Pakari.
yeah,
I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
no, just since some Onua gameplay, and
Oh yeah.
we do have some.
Yeah,
some
I knew
Jugga- Oh,
Hello.
Oh,
I fixed that.
Anyway.
Thought I fixed that.
didn't see that.
What?
Or that's one of these bugs that just keeps reappearing.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
with the
my
navigation,
God.
some things just get fixed and then break and then get
It's like
fixed again,
Yeah.
break again.
Oh,
Like,
collision.
We still had 3 months of bug fixes left
Yeah.
to go, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. There
Yeah,
was,
a lot can happen in 3 months.
Yeah.
not like
That-
wait.
But yeah, so this is honestly maybe my favorite mask, at least from like how it was used in a level, from a level design perspective. Was the Pakari, at least in terms of like kind of concepts and stuff. I think. Oh wait, hold on.
Ah,
Easter egg.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's another Oni thing, which
This
is
nice little
Just a spore.
underground spring.
yeah, it's her Dev Torin.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, which we're all gonna have Dev Torin in the game and like have a secret cave where we would all hang out. But yeah,
yeah.
Oni gets one all to herself.
yeah, One just to
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, because
jumping
she
down low.
did all the work implementing it.
Yeah,
It's true. It's
exactly.
It's like you get stuff in the game if you are the one implementing it. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
Oni did implement. I'm not sure if this dev video will show it, but there's an Easter egg with my dev torn in the demo too.
Yeah.
Where if you go out of bounds, but I'm not sure
yes.
if we'll show that in here. or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember which was my Zeptoran at this point.
we also get a close look at the cow here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Lost a solid month to getting the cow
That was
look
worth it. It was worth
vaguely
it.
good.
It was worth it.
It looks
That was-
honestly,
yeah.
it looks incredible.
Yeah, it really worked out. Like I know, like it was a saga watching that unfold, but
Yeah.
y'all figured it out.
Look at the little
And
blur
like-
on the eyes. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and to add to that, Lucy, before you spent a month with lots of people had spent time on it. Like you were just the one finally cracked the code, basically.
Yeah, and it was more or less kind of aggregating a lot of the attempts and learning actual like a little C+ or C#, I think. The only ever actual coding that I did in the game.
Maybe C++.
Yeah, out of like Visual Studio, I had to like open.
GLS.
I had to open Visual Studio.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need the math to like skew these pixels a little to the left. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, the Pakari, I think it opened up a lot of opportunities for like both Easter eggs and just kind of secrets that you can find, just by virtue of the fact that it lets you break specific objects. So that's
Yeah.
that was cool to be able to do.
I was pretty proud of the, even though these weren't final art for the Pakari rocks, I was pretty proud of the signaling we had on them, because
Yes.
pretty much all the playtesters immediately recognized that that's a thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's interactable. I need something to interact with.
Yeah,
and I don't.
for sure.
I think we talked about that for like hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was a lot of.
He ever does it in this video, but I added something where if you attack them without it, then you'll bounce off of it.
Yeah.
A blocked animation.
Yeah, very good.
It was a good
kind of unsatisfying little tunk.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the metaliness of them kind of came down to like the Traveler Tale games. How like you would see like a metallic thing, like, oh, I gotta bomb that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because our world is so devoid of metalness, when you see like a metal thing, it sticks out. That's why like the Kanohi that are unclaimed are fully metal, the Roxy Breaker metal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is kind of the opposite of the
mechanical tree.
logic that you'd see in other games, but
Yeah, just because so much of our
good.
world is natural. Like
Yeah.
the metal stands
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
you're-
more like a cutscene for the mechanical tree was also like headache-inducing for so many people on this team.
Yeah.
totally.
I really like the particle effects on the lamp posts.
Oh, the little fireflies.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fireflies.
Yeah, those
I
are
like
so
to
good.
imagine they're made out of tiny little Lego pieces.
Did I make those?
We actually
or
had,
did I
like,
just
a
make
little model.
The area ones.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, and
Was
the
that?
fireflies. I was just saying. I don't remember if I made the lamp ones or if I just made the area ones, because I think someone else made the lamp ones specifically to orbit around that. But yeah, beautiful little addition.
So, Kaiga right here is talking about something that he wants you to get.
we made the lamp.
I'm
fireflies.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna spoil things a little bit. I believe this quest is bugged.
Yeah.
In this current version.
Can't finish it,
So-
unfortunately.
Yeah. So just to let you guys know, what was meant to happen here, because the quest was written. I believe a lot of it was also done. It's just there are some bugs preventing it from being finished in this
Yeah.
version. Old memories. We found one of those gears earlier in the cave.
I think that's
back
actually
there.
probably why that could have contributed to why I couldn't finish the quest,
Maybe.
because he found it before the before the
That
quest
might be it.
started.
Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're supposed to find the 4 different gears, take them to a mechanism on top of the mechanical tree that is reminiscent of Bionicle Quest for the Toa on the GBA. It was made as a reference to that. And inside you would find an old Pakari mask in the style of the Matsunui Online game without the vents on the side. And the big reveal would be that it was Kaiga's brother who died in the attacks at the abandoned Koro, and coming back to try and get like one last memory of him.
Yeah.
And that's ended up sparking a whole discussion about how we should address like death and like the writing and stuff. But I don't know. I really liked that quest. I thought it added a lot of heart to the area. It's added to this whole like
Absolutely.
it made it different and had a bit more sentimentality to it.
I like the I like the
100% agree.
the balance we struck with that.
I thought it was perfect. It was very tasteful, the tone of it, I think. And I totally agree. It's a very sweet kind of quest line thematically.
Shame we never got those.
Oh,
Hey!
look who it is!
So,
ASCII!
So much for shadow dropping.
Yeah, we just had to ask you on the call. All right.
All
All
right.
right, we got ASCII now. ASCII,
Hey guys.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm ASCII. The one of the guys working on the game. I was programming late for a good while, and was kind of helpful with things. So not sure really how.
That's an understatement.
That is a huge understatement.
Yeah, ASCII is the lead programmer, everybody. Like a core architect of most of the systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say co-architect with freetime coder.
Yeah.
Still.
But
All this
you-
is just
you did
piles
manage
of-
everything.
I did manage
Geometry.
everything. That is true.
without ASCII.
All right, so that little bit, that little hole in the floorboards there, you can go under there to get a little extra. But I guess we're not doing that right now.
Spoilers.
No, we don't care. We did just pass. Oh, we're looking at it. This is the
Yo.
Takara pit of the Koro. From Legend of Mana Nui, the Takara is a big dance that all the Torin do, and this Koro had one before it was destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh no! No!
No collision.
I fixed the collision. I was so proud. So I figured out a thing with collision where if you can set an override where if it's a certain angle, the character will be able to fall in but can just walk straight up it like it's a ramp. So it was so smooth. I was so proud because like you could go in it and out of it without like the character getting like.
Hello.
That sounded like a person pretending to be a
These spiders are. Oh,
The Pico.
are the
So this is where the respawning problem really shows itself because we walk away from this platform.
these guys.
Yeah, they're really annoying.
You're like the little stun I gave us.
Also missing some sound effects.
Yeah.
So there's also supposed to be another one of the gears for Kaiga's quest up here, but there was some bug happening in this build where it wasn't up here.
I think we did pick it up because we have.
We pick it up. I think it's the one next to
did I just miss
Oni's
it?
Easter egg that we picked up before the quest.
Yeah.
That it didn't
Yes.
register, which is unfortunate.
And I know you mentioned Joe. Oh, we're running.
No,
Where
there
you
was no. I remember distinctly. There was I was when we were doing this
here
run
it
through.
is.
I was looking in editor at like the location for one of the gears, and I was like, it is right on that like platform thing. And then we were looking at it in build, and it wasn't there, and we were like, what is going on? It was very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it was just the one that we picked up before the quest. Broke that. But
And even I know you mentioned that even if we did pick it up after, the cutscene doesn't behave correctly.
the cutscene unfortunately locks you in because we have a thing where whenever you're in a cutscene, it adds a specific thing to the character that doesn't that blocks you from pausing the game and opening the UI and moving around and stuff. And that for some reason is never moved after that cutscene. So yeah. There were a lot of things to fix still. We had 3 months, but
Point out these fun physics-driven lamps.
Oh, they're
Outside of
Yeah.
organizing, getting things in the world that like are reactive to the player beyond just the combat elements.
yeah.
There's the edit. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, we're skipping over some pointless wandering of trying to figure out that quest.
Some of the
Yeah. All right, so here we have a first, well, not first, but one of our major combat encounters where you kind of got to fight off a whole, multiple waves of enemies here before you kind of wrap up the area. And
I think that was one of the first things I implemented with the spawners, and it was always meant to be a placeholder, and just no one ever changed it. So it's literally just dropping in tons of enemies.
You know, it works.
there always were level design plans for it. That was, I guess, like, yeah, it was part of the original design for the area, but and then once you do that
big
just drops.
That's
that
true.
big gray box back there was intended to be like a big diorama hive that they would crawl out of.
Yeah, we just started working on that
Yeah, you can see the little hives around.
the week of.
Yeah, so one other thing, I don't know if, I believe the fast travel is still bugged in this, right?
Yeah. Oh, here. Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy.
It was almost working. I was adjusting it like a month ago, but it did not take.
Yeah. So this one was Garrett mainly, right? Like the concept behind this quest?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, this was just like kind of a weird little guy kind of adding some like superstition and myth to some of the world. Although I don't know if we ever actually got this all the way to where I was kind of hoping it was, which is like we would have like a unique ghostly enemy would spawn after.
We have an enemy.
Yeah, so but see the end of this quest after the caves, so you can see like where it was. We didn't have a unique enemy for it, but there was a enemy, as you said.
Yeah. The concept that wound up getting cut was like this dark, smoky Makuta spirit clouds that were like kind of a different enemy type from the Rahi. Just didn't make it into this demo, but it was always kind of planned.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask. I don't know if we still have it in the demo. Isn't there a section of the map like right at the edge where a Makuta totem can spawn at night?
Yes.
It's still in there? Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's still in there. I don't remember.
This guy, there he goes.
Oh, that's creepy.
Okay, so we showed that. Yeah, so where we are now is the abandoned caves. What we just saw was a Fico dragging a dead Nui Rama through a hole, which Joe set up, I believe.
Beautiful physics-driven animation there.
Oh, they're crawling into the hole.
Yeah, these guys are bugs where they continuously spawn. That's another just thing that we didn't get to
same
fix.
bug
but,
with the respawning thing,
Yeah, but this area was mainly designed by me with some help from Box in specific rooms. But this was a very fun area to concept in that we kind of had this idea for like, oh, there's an area with a cave with caves where you get it's dark and stuff, but that was kind of where it just started. So I kind of wanted to, and this is I'll get to talking about this in a second. I was like, well, we just got the Pakari, right? And we're talking about like a really dark area and stuff, and I was kind of thinking about like we have stuff like light stones in Bionicle, right? So like, wouldn't it be a neat idea if there was a kind of mechanic where you have to light up areas by breaking open Pakari rocks that have light stones under them? And in terms of the actual implementation of it, there's definitely like things that I wish we could have like polished up and gotten working like a little bit better, more clearly. But I thought it was a neat concept. Now with those Fico that there was a huge swarm of, the concept behind those was that they would be like, they're like a big swarm of enemies that are afraid of the light. So and we're picking up a red disc here, which you can get to in a second. But yeah, they will flee from the light when you light up certain areas. So it's about they'll do that, or they'll get stunned, which kind of leaves them more open to getting attacked, where you don't have to get tanked by like a million of them. But yeah, and this is our first demonstration of the skins cosmetics.
Ooh. I can also sneak in. We were doing an art team fly through of the level, just like accounting for assets, and one of these spiky pits has a mask impaled on one of the spikes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if anyone ever saw that. I was like, I'm gonna. We were talking about death earlier. I'm gonna be a little cheeky and sneak an extra death in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So with like Lego, I feel like we really leaned on the Bionicle bit, but I feel like it was important to like kind of try to maintain some of that like toy building your own character thing.
Yeah.
Like our characters are so like expressive in their personality with like the animation, so it was like it'd be hard to like swap around their parts, like build your own Toa, but slightly easier changing your colors and giving like a wide breadth of like palettes to like put on your Toa to like at least customize them in that way, and then allow us to kind of reference like just a like wide breadth of of the toy line across the years, like other kind of representations.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, and there we get to see them fleeing from the light and stuff. I think in an ideal world, I would have liked to have them like kind of operate almost like almost like their own entity, like a swarm or something. But we had limitations and stuff.
I think they technically work because they were sharing AI, but
That works.
Yeah, but I guess like
You still can just hit them all.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
just do it.
They're not like an invincible swarm kind of entity.
yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And also, Lucy is not taking enough credit for implanting all the cosmetics because that's,
Yes.
I think, all her work.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I didn't want to sweep over that. Yeah, there's a ton of great cosmetics.
Yeah, that was kind of the break I would take between like texturing things or modeling something, was be like, oh, I really wanted to have like a really deep just because we were aiming for like a very nostalgic kind of gameplay. I wanted like a deep well of like rewards to pull from.
Very, very 2000s
That was
coded.
one way to get that in there. Yeah.
So
And,
skill
like-
gears were a cool idea we had that would kind of allow you to pick up just different modifiers or different kind of bonuses to your character. Instead of having like a skill tree or anything like that, we wanted to just kind of well, actually, some of that was kind of inspired by Nier Automata with kind of the different chips that you could get in that game. So we wanted to kind of have something that was a little more freeform and letting players kind of come up with different bonuses and weird functions that can be added on to specific characters.
Yeah,
We
there's
didn't get super far with it, but we had some cool ideas.
the original concept. The original concept is actually a lot more detailed, where you would have like certain size gears, and you would have like sort of an inventory of where you'd have. So there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, you have like an inventory where you had to like slot different things in different sizes, and
That's cool.
yeah. But what we ended up on, I think, is a lot more easy to understand for players, and easier for us to implement.
We didn't
big-
implement it, but we had a really like gross mushroom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
was
that
like
thing
hard
was
out.
gross.
Yeah, it was like a few days ago.
Oni would have us spoiler spiders, but I was like, you gotta spoil. I can't open the art channel and look at this thing.
Yeah, me neither. It was a
very
great thing.
gross.
I hated it.
I think tryptophobia. It was triggering on tryptophobia.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
I was like, like
Yeah.
By the way, the big gears you saw, that's sort of the idea behind this, I think, came from Kaylie, which is like the deeper you go, the more of like Matanui stuff, like the GSR you see, sort of hidden, where it's like shining through, basically.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And on
Those-
that note, I suggested like the intro stuff to the cave, but then I think Kaylie just took over and suggested the entire rest.
Both of y'all did great with it.
Yeah.
All right, so
A lot of people.
Now we
got
can
a-
see
so
we
you
can
got
actually see
Yeah,
the
now-
Nujaga fight.
now with
Yeah.
them actually having AI operating,
Yeah.
but this is a kind of little mini boss here. I do really like. I know they caused a lot of like these guys' AI specifically. It seemed like caused a lot of strife, not strife,
Yeah,
that's the wrong word. But
issues. It's because they
Yeah.
were holdover from when we were doing AI differently in Trials of the Great Spirit, and then we said, okay, now we're going to be doing it like this, more like the Nui Rama, and they just kind of never were shifted over to that thing fully until like very recently, where I tried to like kind of pull them closer to the Rama, and they still never quite made it.
Yeah, they were also like the basically OG NPC, like enemy type, and
yeah.
we just copy pasted and modified it, and every other enemy is sort of just
A lot of the abilities
used to be a
still
Nui
inherit.
Jaga.
Yeah, a lot of the abilities
Yeah.
still inherit from Nui Jaga attack, and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
please.
Little Fikus are basically just tiny little Nui Jagas.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
oh man! All right, so
Another
what we're about
mask.
to get here. Yeah. So
Beautifully
what happens
placed
that
mask.
after that fight, you have the floor kind of collapse, which we never got to fully polish up. But that's all right. So we get the Ruru, the Mask of Night Vision, just playing more into the whole like darkness concept with this area. Yeah, it's the Ruru is like it works for this area. It's, it was going to be originally like in the earlier sections, things were going to be a lot more pitch black, but we ended up, for both decoration and I think just for a little bit more clarity, like putting more of the like bioluminescent mushrooms around and stuff.
Yeah, and plus
so that it wasn't too overwhelming at first.
And plus, so it wasn't too overwhelming at first, and plus you don't have the Ruru by then. But then now we kind of get down here, and then you have some of these in this little save room. But then you start going on, and it's a little bit more difficult to see.
Yeah, we got a lot more.
Yeah, which this big next room that's coming up, I kind of set dressed a large majority of it. Well, not the actual like rocks and stuff, but a lot of the various little details. And
it was good.
Something that I like a lot about this area too is, and I think this is also true of the Waterfall Cliffs, is that you really feel like you're kind of like really far out from the beaten path and like kind of on an adventure and kind of stuck out here. Because like as soon as you get to the abandoned Koro, you're cut off from the outpost, which kind of feels like a little safe zone. And now you're like, you know, in the bowels of this huge cave system and have no idea where you're going.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool feeling, like being on an adventure.
That was one thing with putting the area together. I was like, wait, I think we get a little spooky with this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think everything came together really well for that. But like, you know, when like it's not like supposed to be like scary, but it's definitely meant to be kind of like unsettling. And I think in both the design and as well as the sound and the set dressing and everything like came together to create that vibe well.
Yeah, I feel like we were always pulling towards like horrors for some reason, like the intended like plans of like Mangaya or like a lot of the Makuta's like creations were like, oh, what if this is like a little like scary? Like,
because it's always interesting when you take something that's like fairly innocent and then something that's like innocent on the surface, and then as you dig deeper into it, it kind of like gets more messed up and interesting.
Sure,
And
I've heard. I had a friend recently say that platformers forgot that there's supposed to be a scary level, which I really appreciate. Which I guess this is, we're partially a platformer, but this is our scary level. Yeah, this is our scary level.
Yeah. Also, you may notice in this area there's a number of purple mushrooms. Most of the mushrooms in this room are like purplish, and I don't know why, but something I've hung on to since they said it is one of the playtesters sent in a playtesting report that said, "Why are these purple?" I was just like,
and why purple?
Why not?
That's funny.
Variants.
I think it's interesting, like having
mushrooms the whole time. They make it purple now. Come on.
What if it was purple?
Ooh, beautiful, well placed collectible.
Yeah. I remember. I was like, oh, the Vizirac one. That'd be perfect for the abandoned. Yeah.
While we're talking about the skins, you'll notice a little button on the bottom. Insert code. If you put tab. I want to talk about this because this is one of the coolest things that we implemented, in my opinion. I know Lucy did it, so I'll let you talk about it. I love this.
Yeah, again, like kind of indulging like the more like childish play thing and like connecting like way back to like Bionicle nostalgia, the old like Nestle discs where you would enter the code. We had a screen that was that interface, and it would accept every code that was on a disc and was on a mask, and they all basically cheated you to cosmetics. And the idea was like, oh, if you had like a favorite thing you wanted to see, and like we would, I think theoretically around like launch, we would be like teasing these things out of like, oh, try this.
It's just such,
it was a fun like the website experience of like Bionicle, like poking around the website. It was like kind of bringing that into the game of like interfacing with like the menus in like kind of a fun way.
Mini CD.
Getting a result.
Because I know for me, when I was doing a playthrough and I found that, and I just like went digging through my old Bionicle mask bin, pulling up all the masks and putting on the codes, seeing what they unlocked. It was just such a cool experience.
That was my hope, is that like, I don't know, people like on stream or something, or like just in their life playing the game would be like, and like they would go into their collection, pull out something and try it and be like, oh, it works.
Right.
And like really actually connecting to the real toys. Oh no.
That was scary.
That is a spooky sound, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. This guy. So here we got the Fico Nui boss fight. Now, so what we're doing right now is just kind of lighting up the whole room with these Bakari rocks. This boss functions and stuff as like a just like a boss you can fight. But the original concept for this, which we never got to implement, was that this boss would also react to the light when you activate the light stones. And like the idea going into that was that it's kind of a culmination of the mechanics like for the area as we've established them like so far, with the the mini cave Fico flee from the light, so this dude gets stunned by them and it could be like a cool boss mechanic. Didn't get around to that, but
I was also going to swap the spit from the cave Fiku, like they had the orange spit. I was going to swap it to a web spit that would build up webs and would do the web stun that you get from the Fikinui when you get hit by his web attack. But as like a way to sort of teach the player that, hey, this is something you might encounter in this fight. So
I don't remember if we talked on it much, but I remember there being a plan to also have the Fiku web up the glow lights after you stun them, so they wouldn't leave them open.
I remember that, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think we also went back and forth on like whether or not the Ruru would apply like Splinter Cell vision.
Yeah, we debated a lot whether or not it would be like modern night vision or just kind of like enhanced vision, like we have it displayed.
Yeah, I never really like the modern sort of night vision look, but it's also pretty difficult to get a good balance of like what is just straight up a point light and what is like actual night vision kind of thing.
I like where it landed.
The way that we did it here is it is actually just a light, but it doesn't cast any shadows, so it doesn't quite feel like a flashlight.
I think it has a very large center radius, so it's it's just pretty smooth.
Now we are about to exit the cave.
Yes.
And
this nice
leave the darkness volume, which has also been very funky for a while. Every time you were climbing a ledge, it would like spawn back to daylight and then it would go back to darkness.
I do love this moment though of like leaving the caves, like the relief of like natural
sunlight.
It does start feeling a bit claustrophobic at some point.
And then it just opens all like up to the blue sky. It's great. Sorry, I interrupted somebody.
Yeah, and it's like not what you would expect, like a Lewa-centric setting. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in a jungle the whole time, right? It's like we're gonna take that away for like a couple minutes and like.
Yeah, and also you notice
is the fucking cave music still playing?
Still lingers for like.
I was just about to say, what the hell is the cave music still playing?
And then eventually it goes away. I don't know why.
It haunts him as a spirit of air.
I hate that.
It haunts him.
You may not be afraid of
I hate that so much.
Yeah,
there were moments.
Funky.
Also, I love the small detail of Mount Ihu in the distance.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you feel like you're actually in a really big place.
Yeah. And the map does go on quite a lot, like the skybox and everything.
It took a while to kind of get the scale right, or at least not necessarily get it right, but get looking
feeling
like that we all agreed. Feeling right that we all agreed it looked correct.
I think in the first meeting I was in, I think someone said we were building like a whole island. I got really nervous.
All right, so here's something we're coming back for, which is another thing you can unlock with the Bakari. So this skin, I put a cheeky name for Move Along. That's because it's the Anika skins. So I think what we talked, one thing we talked, I remember Lucy and I talking about this. We wanted to come up with kind of more referential names for the skins and stuff. At least some of them, and also like with their descriptions and stuff. But we never got around to doing that for all of them.
Yeah, again, I was just like looking for places to like inject flavor text. Like, I was like, if you have more flavor text.
Yeah,
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, wait. I was just asking. Did we ever put in that a Numatoran who's excavating a skeleton fossil of?
Yep.
He's in here. Okay, sweet. But did we never finish the asset for that?
We
though?
didn't. No.
No, there's a temporary slicer asset.
Okay. That's
Do we see him in the video?
Yeah.
It happens later.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty well hidden, so. But yeah, they're in there. All right.
Oh yeah, we mentioned like a good while ago. We talked to the one Gamatoran in the central outpost.
Yeah. And
It's
now,
the boat.
Yeah, it's the boat. Nog boat. I always love this. So.
Montanui fell on me.
Oh yeah.
You know, we probably should have had them like laying down or something, and just standing at attention underneath a bunch of boulders.
Oh no, they were laying down.
They do lay down though.
It's just that
Oh, they were. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just that they insta swap their animation once you break the boulder.
They are healed.
Yeah. So this is our little quest where there's these stranded Gamator and you have to free them. And yeah, you got to use the Pakari to break them free. There's a lot of... This one was a little bit of a headache from a scripting perspective because there's so many ways that you can come at it. Like you can talk to the Matoran at the central outpost first, or you can come across the location first and talk to the Matoran, or you can come across the location when you have the Pakari, break the rocks first, and then talk to them. So we had to account for all of that with like the flags and stuff.
Yeah, but that's more of an interesting problem to have. You know, it's a it's a good problem to have because then you just have to think about all the different angles.
For sure.
Also,
it feels more responsive too.
I just wanted to say something about the boat real quick. Kaylie mocked up the boat from Monog here. I love that it has like play functionality. Like it has wheels that rotate the propeller if you could like pick it up and roll it on the ground.
if I'm not mistaken,
that's incredible,
right?
Yeah,
actually build the
it's a functional build.
Yeah, so. I love it.
Yeah. So
I think for our actual asset,
I think
we didn't have the wheels in there as just like a.
Yeah, I had a version that like toggled it off and on.
Yeah.
That's an original design too. It's based on the Monog boat, but the Monog boat's like nonsensical. It doesn't actually work.
we're showing the this is the player report system.
I was wondering where that came from. So yeah, when we started going into QA, I added a sort of in-game reporting functionality, so testers could actually leave feedback and not have to leave the game and go into Discord or talk to us, or
and it straight up goes
write
directly
something
to our boards to process.
Yes, it goes to our internal development boards.
Insanely useful, and should be everything. Every single game should have that.
And this was really inspired by Subnautica. Like they have something like that, and ever since I saw that, I was like, I want to have that. I want to do something like that. And now I did.
Back here.
We get to see that.
There's the Kahu just.
Yeah, we're coming back to this. I think we were looking,
where are we doing?
when recording. I think we were looking for Barra Magna.
Yeah.
Well,
Nope.
is it?
I think it's below the horizon right now. Yeah.
It's either bugged or it's behind a cliff.
Oh, it's Barra Magna moves around up and down with the daytime, but it's separate from the daily so there's a day and night cycle, but Barra Magna just moves up and down independently. So sometimes you have it in the sky at day and sometimes at night, but it's kind
I do remember seeing it
random.
earlier.
Yeah. So this is the.
Yeah, it was
ending-
the earlier footage.
Oh.
Was,
Oh.
Yeah, this is the ending
Hello.
to this mushroom quest,
Yeah.
which I had to record separately because it was bugged. We were trying to do it in the proper footage.
Big,
Yeah, this is
big
after you
props
collect
to
all
the
the
writing team.
mushrooms. Come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love all the writing, especially this weirdo.
Well, not only is it good,
guy.
but it's consistent. I think that's really hard for like fan games to really have good and consistent
sure.
writing.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a different build now, so there's the...
Yeah. So
I was about to say, this is a different build, isn't
this
it?
is a new
Yeah.
build, yeah. And change the time of day.
Oh,
Well,
Oh, cheating! Cheating detected.
Yeah, so...
Permaban incoming.
didn't even have the Vahi equipped.
Yeah. So when it's
Still in time.
when it's night down here, the intent was that you were supposed to come back here at night. The quest wasn't set up for that, like to track it, but I believe the intent was that this guy, this shadow, either shadow Jaga or shadow like a wisp, like Garrett was talking about, some kind of creature of the night was intended to spawn, and you fight it.
Yeah.
And you talk to the guy again, and he tells you, "Good job."
Yeah.
Yeah.
go away, spiders.
Yeah, right.
I think one of the concepts for the monster was basically just like the Pokemon Ghastly, but with like a mask, basically.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just
It works.
shoot balls of darkness at you. Sometimes the simple solution is the best one.
All right. And we get a little red disc from that.
Another one.
Wasn't able to show this
Yeah.
one off, unfortunately.
Spooky.
Oh yeah, I
Just
called that
the-
one.
Because it is
The Halloween?
Yeah, it's the Halloween skin.
Okay.
It was
Main
fun.
quest.
It was fun to pick cosmetics that matched up with different kind of situations a little bit. The one that you get for the Gamatoran quest is the Toa Khan skin.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, you know, Khan kind of has this place as like, you know, this really legendary hero kind of thing. So I was like, well, you're doing a very heroic thing in this quest, saving the Matoran. So I was like, oh, that'd be a neat little kind of place for that.
Yeah. On just a random couple things since we're in the water right now. If you compare the water here to the water in the demo trailer, you may notice a little bit of a difference because this one, whatever happened, like just, you know, system degradation, things got unimplemented somehow, or something broke, and the system that we were using did not work any longer, so we didn't have any interactions like that, and ASCII did not have any time to try and like fix it because he was going to set it up, I was going to get around to it. I promise.
You and me and Christy, everyone.
Everyone
Like,
said, "Oh yeah,
trying to get it to work."
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually.
So here we got another little.
the river material. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like how they look. But yeah, here's another little Picari collectible Easter egg. This is Judge, and I think we equip it in the footage.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so
We show
there,
off?
We do.
there. I mean, should we say that? I mean, there were like broader
we
plans to implement like
Not right now because
the
it's missing.
slicers and the robo riders in some way.
Yeah, I think originally we wanted to like
No.
straight up have them be playable at some point, but yeah,
Yeah, we had some animations. For
Yeah, we have like
them.
rigged slicers.
And-
You know.
And I think we did set up the characters, but that you can't really access them in any way. They don't do much more than just move around.
Yeah.
Even that's pretty cool though.
Ride.
yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much almost every character that had animations ended up getting a character set up that could be controlled, mostly because, you know, we had the Komao so we could have possession.
The Komau, but also extended the extension of the Komau being free play mode, where you could just walk around the island as any character. Which,
Yes, that was something we wanted to do.
Yeah, it was something we wanted to do, and kind of like slowly got like more and more wish listed as we went development, because we were like, it's a little. I mean, got a whole game to make, you know. But
I think at one point we discussed just putting it off and just saying if you beat the game, you can get the developer menu.
pretty much, yeah.
Which is that?
So we had to
Yeah, there was a
We
little bug
decided
where
on that.
when you loaded back into your save, it would give you the stinger for certain things that you got. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we had a little. Yeah,
reload
we had a little
again.
bug.
There
where-
he is.
Oh yeah, and there we can see the sort of because it's Mask of Power. So beyond the the who cares first 12 masks, wanted to have like a suite of additional masks. So one of them was sticking a slicer plate over your face.
It's just reskins of your normal mask, to be clear. But
Well, my
Most
hope
things.
was we could eventually, because we had like systems for like throwing things or something, right?
yeah, we were.
Yeah, we
the
could
items,
toss things.
Yeah, my hope is eventually we would be able to like, when you equip the slicer mask, it would let you throw a disc or something like
Yeah.
that. Like,
And you can see how the
Just like-
HUD here changes, which is amazing.
yes.
Even the elemental.
And the elemental bar at the top.
yeah, it's like all so like
Never got around to changing like the swooshes on the attacks because the color is like green.
yeah. I wanted the skins to be like as in depth as possible, so like they don't just affect like your character, they affect your UI, they affect the way the character interacts with like the meditation stones, the colors on that change, like your particle effects change, and then finding like a balance of keeping it readable, so like regardless of the mask you have equipped, it always shows your actual Mask of Power in the top left as the mask that it actually is. I was like, I want to go overboard, just being like, I want to be able to switch everything around because it's Legos, you switch everything around. Yeah. I'm like, it's got to still be gameplay readable a little bit. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I love how it worked out.
Yeah. On the note of environmental details, something I did want to do is I wanted to add interaction with foliage, so you could like push grass and stuff, and that definitely was on the table for a while. I think I pretty much gave up on it for the demo, at least because of how much foliage we have and how much we would need to restructure stuff to actually.
Yeah, and because every asset is like different.
Yeah,
we would need to
Yeah, like dozens of materials have to be modified essentially.
do the big culling.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the leaves. Like a million. I don't think we've seen any of the weird Bakugan bushes where like the leaves just spin like a sphere for some reason.
I think that got fixed.
No, I think
I'm glad that got fixed by whoever did that.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that's been fixed on and off. Yeah.
Woo, all right.
There's a
So
bird there that you scare off.
yeah, the birds are kind of used to draw attention to certain places, or just like for neat little. It kind of creates a neat little just moments where the world kind of reacts to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But just before we jump into level design talk here for this, I did want to mention that just random thing that I was unnecessarily proud of is that on the pause menu there's a help screen which essentially lists all the tutorials that you've viewed.
No,
it just
that's
uses the exact same UI as the normal tutorial list. And I was just really
I don't
proud
think
of
that's
that.
unnecessarily proud. No, that's a great thing to have. I was like, because
Yeah, that's great UX.
Yeah, I guess I was so proud of it because it was like really easy for me to set up, and I set it up in like a few hours. And I was like, here, that's a thing now. So
yeah.
Now
All right.
Waterfall Cliffs.
So yeah, now we're in the Waterfall Cliffs. Now this was another area that was mainly designed by Mosby. So here's a little extra here. You can get a skill gear there. But this was I always really liked this area aesthetically.
Yeah, me too. Besides the BIONICLE, I think that's my second favorite one.
Who missed the opportunity to type "find the flutist"?
Find the. True. No, tragic.
Did we ever
patch it later.
I don't know about that one, but okay.
This part looks stunning, actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Did we ever
Also,
add
I think
the
when-
movement speed gear in here? Or was that never?
Movement speed, no.
Right, because we
But-
did Afterburn like most of the ones that I had. I just think we didn't have a icon for us. So we could go on.
I see. Yeah. No, I was gonna say. I think while recording this footage, David is he's doing a little strat of like using the dodge, like the forward dodge to get a lot more speed in the jumps.
Yeah. And something he's not even doing, which
it's the meta.
he could be right clicking in the air, which is a like forward pushing attack, and that keeps you in the air for a bit, so you can extend.
We did
your
nerf
jump
that,
speed.
right?
We did nerf it, I think, a little bit, but because you used to be able to do it infinitely, just as long as the cooldown. But now you can only do one per jump, so it is a bit nerf.
Right. Yeah.
The footage is not sped up. It's just he's playing rather fast.
Yeah. So this area, I'd say, is it's probably the most platforming heavy one, and that's I liked one thing I liked was that we did with the level design was that the areas have variety, and the purpose that they're serving. Like the heights are the meandering heights are kind of this like. They're kind of meant to be like this a mixture of kind of wow, like look at this world that I'm in and getting to be like immersed in and stuff, while also like doing a little bit of tutorializing, and then we have like platforming, well, a little bit. It's doing a lot of tutorializing, but and then platforming stuff here, and then sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna add on top of that, part of our kind of core design that we had kind of reference for a long time was that we had 4 pillars, which were exploration, combat, puzzles, and platforming. And the idea was each kind of region was going to have different areas that focused on one of those pillars of gameplay. So that nothing was ever too dominant.
Speaking of pillars here.
Yeah.
Speaking of pillars.
Yeah, we're demonstrating.
Collapse?
They are. They do, but only. They do, but only when you jump on the first one.
Yeah, it's a little weird, honestly, but he's trying to show it off.
He's trying to do something. I don't know. I don't know why he's not just.
He just. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
But then he kind of.
Yeah.
This was something that we didn't need to polish. Yeah, you can kind of
That works.
I want to fall into the abyss. All right, so I think coming up here, actually not quite yet.
I did want to briefly mention the in the last little cave area we passed through, we did fight a yellow Nuirama, which
Oh.
That was yellow.
Duck.
yeah,
I remember this. Watch this. He's got it. Don't worry.
yeah, it's skill. Just watch.
Pure
Yeah.
skill.
Not a bug, it's a skill issue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bam.
Yeah, so that's like the prototype.
Yeah, the other
Nuirama.
one is like the prototype Nuirama, but I wanted to give the different colors like some reason to exist other than just like visual variants. So there are slight stat differences between the colors. Like I think green has slightly more health and less damage, and then the opposite for orange. And then yellow is a bit interesting because yellow is much faster. They have shorter cooldowns and do less damage and have less health. So it was a pretty interesting sort of dynamic that was going to be used a little more. This ledge is very funky, has always been very funky.
Yeah, it sure has.
I wanted to append the Rahi are able to have all those different colors because they implement the same system that the Toa do for all their skins. And like my favorite unlock that I don't know if we're showing off here is that those two things can talk to each other, and when you hit a Rahi, you can have it apply all of those pieces colors to your pieces, and you can just go around like swapping
the take his
pieces
shoes
with all the
we call that one take his shoes.
and I was like, I think I said that to ASCII in like a meeting, and then like an hour later it worked, and I was like, oh my god, it's working.
That's cool.
Here we're trying to show off the web state, so there you go. You get hit by that web.
Ooh.
You get slowed down real
webbed.
bad. You can't attack, and you have to kind of just run away.
I love that animation. Once again, like all the animations by Kaylie, great. There's one that I don't think gets demonstrated in this video, which is Lewa has an idle fidget, where he if you stand around for too long not doing anything, he'll kind of like get bored and look around.
Times.
Yeah, he takes his axe out, kind of looks at it, sort of like does a little twirl, throws it up in the air, and it lands on his head, really cartoon style. And
Perfect.
And he plays the damage sound effect.
Yeah, and he kind of picks it up and like tries to act like nothing happened.
And also, it's the sound effect is the exact same as taking damage, and every time it happens, that like when you have AFK and have the game in the back, it's like, oh shit, I'm taking damage. Like, no, just the idle animation.
It's just Lewa.
Yep.
We had this double spawning bug, and he was just like constantly in the level.
I love this light.
The lighting, chef's kiss there.
Oh, so good. By the way, shout out to Lighting Wizard Free Time.
Oh yeah.
Lighting and optimization.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, both. We did it.
Right.
Yeah, that was a big back and forth. Back when I think I made the dioramas, that was sort of the first time I was like, okay, let's really figure out lighting. And then, of course, we had to make it dynamic so it looked good in every sort of time of the day. And another fun thing is lighting in games is always a huge performance thing. So we had, for example, when the sun was going down and the moon Magna was coming up, there was a huge dip in performance because suddenly you had like two big lights shadow casting everything. So I kind of just hot fixed that by there's like a very brief moment where there's actually no shadows, like a microsecond. Where they just swap. The sun is getting turned off and the moon is turning on, and no one notices.
Yeah, really
nice.
Like genuinely really good job with all the lighting. It looks amazing. The HUD disagrees. The headset display.
We never fix it. We'll fix it in the next patch. Right?
That is a bug that has existed for what, like 2.5 years or something. I don't even know at this point.
I'm not sure why. Like my main issue with it, I mean, isn't even just like the light coming from like behind it and underneath it and everything. It's mainly like the normals are too wide. And here's a signaling issue.
This is another thing that. This is another thing we had on our list. There was a bunch of, like, while we were in the bug fixing and polish stage, we were doing like a lot more testing, and this was one spot that we had marked that could have used a lot better signaling. That we unfortunately never got around to.
Which by the way, that some of the signaling there is that if you jump up on that rock on the right, it'll give you a tutorial for the axe throw. But if you've already seen that tutorial, like if you did the other quest, it won't play. So,
Right.
Probably could have forced it, but that was, more polished stuff.
Yeah. And while like there was like work to be done on some of that stuff, I also think there were some moments of signaling that worked out really well. Like we talked about with the Picari rocks and stuff like that. And here we go.
Here's a fun Easter egg. This one is another by OniFox, who created BIONICLE Kapura Adventures. It was an April Fool's game for a few years ago. And if you have played Kapura Adventures and also played Mask of Power, then Kapura would show up. If you don't have a Kapura Adventures save, Kapura would not be here in your game.
Yeah, we're also seeing a little thing that we never got around to fixing, which is because of a changing the dialogue system here, Liwa will turn around for every line that he speaks.
Yeah.
Here.
I was wondering about
There's a few lines because like I went through and tried to add it to like all the ones in the demo, and I missed quite a few apparently.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but has some
yeah.
interesting.
And another fun thing with Kapura is that Kapura will check to see if you have see what games you've got installed, and will have different dialogue based on other games that you've played.
There's quite a few.
And that Kapura has traveled to.
Yeah, there are quite a few lines that you're up for those.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're very fun.
They're fun. I helped write some of these.
Yeah.
One of my
it was a fun
favorites. I don't know if I think we were gonna show that like separately somewhere, but my favorite one is probably the Doom one. Where I don't know if that happens, and I don't think it does.
Maybe
in this recording.
I think he may have already said that one, or that may have been the Halo.
No, that was the Halo. That was the Halo one.
Right. Yeah, no, I think...
Yeah, this one's Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah, David just had Baldur's Gate and Halo installed, so...
Yeah, but there's ones for Masks of Power Legacy. I wrote one for Portal, Sonic games.
Yeah, the Sonic one I loved. What does he say? He says, like, I was in a
strange blue Rahi.
Yeah, there's a blue Rahi that was very fast. That was so great.
Since this will probably be one of my last opportunities about the dialogue system, I wanted to mention, for any of you familiar with Masks of Power Legacy, you'll know the great camera angles that some of the dialogue would have, being like clipping through walls and characters, and so that's why when I was implementing the sort of dynamic dialogue system for this one, I went for a more dynamic camera where it would choose which side to zoom to based on if there was any obstructors, and it would move the camera smoothly if there was any obstructors, and there's a bunch of checking stuff to avoid that, and it still occasionally will happen, but
not nearly enough.
Not nearly as many times.
It's really good.
Yeah. And also, bonus to that system is that you can actually, on mouse and keyboard, you can click drag the center of the screen to like rotate the camera, and then on control you just use the right stick to rotate the camera with that, so that even if that does happen, that you can kind of fix it yourself. So.
Yeah,
it's just a neat.
This room looks gorgeous, by the way.
Oh yeah, but also Nui Rama jump scare.
You could also see the checkpoint stone there, like powering up. I like the effect on that. Like that
I always like that.
Yeah.
Kind of blending the like spiritual with the sort of technological, or it kind of like loads up like a Wi-Fi router connecting. I don't know. I was really proud of it. I really enjoyed getting that to work. I was like, oh, that's
that's the
afterburner. That was after.
That's cool.
So that was trying to like demonstrate afterburner a little bit there.
And like his eyes open, like it's like the thing loads and then like his eyes like awaken.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of how it looks lit up like that.
Oh yeah,
Underworld looks
the lit up
amazing.
stone stuff.
Take a dip.
Yeah.
All right. Here's our last band member.
Finally.
The afterburner particle. I don't know if it like shows it very well, but it was intended to like look like the shape of Liwa, but I think it just kind of ends up looking like a ball. I don't know what happened.
Well, you already get that a little bit with the perfect dodge, right? So
Yeah.
We got Sanso.
Yeah, this guy's sassy.
Well, he would if he had voice lines, but we didn't have all of them.
Yeah, we didn't have all of them processed and stuff. One thing with the dialogue I am remembering now is I got reminded of it when I recently looked back at old footage. The tree speak used to be so much more heavy.
It
was.
I like tree speak. I went a little hard on the tree speak with the first couple passes. But yeah, that got toned back a lot over time.
We found a
we
happy
still got
balance.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, we still got it.
we could say we have the oxygen gauge here is weird. It's that like your lungs are filling with water, is right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it should be the other way around. Like,
Well, yeah, but we opted for this to sort of, well, not only is it like a little bit more unique, but it's also like they're biomechanical, so they're
Yeah.
so do they actually have
Another-
to breathe, or are like
Another chance to talk about the cow.
The cow.
yeah.
It looks great.
so good in this tunnel.
Yeah.
One of the
But,
most difficult
yeah.
masks to implement on every level.
Yeah.
I think this is
I don't think we
the
ever.
most expensive shader in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's like a UE has like a built-in sort of complexity tool, and it kind of goes from like a thermal gauge, like I think red is like cool, or no, green is cool, and then the cow is
White is the
white
worst.
hot.
Yeah. White, yeah.
Oh man.
But it is
yeah,
so
it looks
worth
good.
There, I will say also, it looks great. The place where
Beautiful.
Yeah, the place where you get Afterburner, the skill gear towards the beginning, was originally meant to require the cow to get to that because it meant to be
Or a late game thing.
like long enough for that. Yeah, but the issue was that again because of like development restrictions, sometimes like mask powers had to be adjusted and stuff. So like the time that you had like underwater with the cow like had to change for reasons and stuff. So that ended up not being if we had time I would have gone back and corrected that, but
I also
I don't
wanted
think-
to kind of. I kind of want to elaborate a little on the complexity of this. Like, so it's a transparent thing that has to sit in front of another transparent thing, the Toa brain, and then you really use it the most when you're in water, which again is affecting the like viewport. So like, it has to, and all of that. Unreal doesn't like doing any of that. Like,
Yeah.
three different
And
transparent layers
there's-
interacting.
Yeah.
Like,
It has to blur.
it has to
everything
blur. Yeah,
behind
it's
it
just.
in different
And there's another
amounts.
thing also, which is like the Coco is extremely like complex as a mesh, and transparency, like overlapping transparency, is always a problem, and the mesh itself being like overlapping and two-sided is another like
because it overlaps.
terrible.
Yeah,
like
so
it's
it's-
all terrible things combined. when
Yeah,
comes to
it has to transparency through itself with
Yeah.
a thing directly behind it, and then a like
Yeah.
post-process volume that is affecting like the viewport when you're underwater.
So that
So,
is
like,
that is Mosby's dev twin, and we have the little disc next to him. Which I don't think
that's
that
good guy and
dialogue
bad
was.
guy.
Yeah, I don't think that dialogue was ever.
Yeah, it wasn't
properly
finalized.
finished. Yeah, but I did implement it anyways because I didn't know if we were gonna have time to finish that or not. So yeah, there's just a log here that's supposed to be open for you to swim through, but there's just a route in the way.
Our theory is somebody was just
Watery grave.
moving some assets around and accidentally blocked this off, and we just
Yeah.
didn't catch it yet.
Because this is just a cave.
Oh,
Oh shit, that might have been me.
Oh, it's a central outpost.
Central outpost tree.
Yeah, it's the outpost, right? That's probably a tree that I
Yep.
had to like move around. Oops.
So we're gonna use the no clipping, the dev tools here in a second to sort of no clip.
Oh, we're cheating.
Beautiful,
Oh yeah.
beautiful
my favorite mass power.
little dev tool.
The mask of no clip.
Being able to on that dev screen, being able to adjust like all of the game state values is like incredibly valuable and
More trees.
insanely.
Yeah. I know these
Oh,
are
no, these aren't trees. Oh, okay. I thought these were more
Rock
trees.
pillars.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, all the
Yeah, so speaking of gameplay values, game state values, that's sort of system where lots of our like things to track in the game, like how many masks have you unlocked, which quest is in which state,
literally everything.
how many collectibles, inventory, basically everything that needs to be in a save file is driven
I
through
love
like
it.
named values, and they are like just adjustable on the fly.
On my other indie dev team, I was like, guys, we got to do this. Like, this is
Yeah,
I was like, at first I was like,
the
oh,
two
this
projects
is...
and be like, oh.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is annoying. And then as I started to like when I had that big brain moment when we were trying to figure out the save system, and I was like, wait, why aren't we just tracking each objective with one of these?
Yeah.
And then it was like,
instantly solved.
Oh, this system is great.
Yeah.
We had a few of these things, like with the games, with the gameplay abilities as well. Everyone's like, oh, what the heck is this? How do we use this? It's so complicated. And then we figured it out. It's like, oh.
Well, that one I'm still not super happy about because it's Epic Games and it's never like 100%. And there was supposed to be some sort of reward here. I don't know what, but
yeah, that's just another thing that we didn't get around to putting in. But
you didn't know it was there.
Exploration is its own reward.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it was hiding. It was a process. Like, we didn't end up getting to finish doing it, obviously, but it was very fun to finally get to start putting rewards and collectibles and stuff around, because we went so long with them like not fully being set up, kinda, sorta, or like at least with the skill gears. So that was fun to finally do, like hide
and
stuff
you're
around.
back in the abandoned Koro.
Yeah, that's a little shortcut to the abandoned Koro.
You emerge from the waterfall, classic level design.
Yeah, it's a very fun reveal also too, that the water like that is like going through to power the mechanical tree is that whole like kind of underwater system.
The one thing I always kind of had a little issue with here is at the end of this river, like where there's the
it just stops.
Panel, it just stops. There's
yeah.
nothing.
That was another thing I wanted to change. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But then
I was like, okay, I can suspend my disbelief. Maybe it's like the rock is porous and it's going through the rock.
Yeah, it's groundwater. It's
yeah.
groundwater.
Yeah.
It's been dry. It's been dry for a long time, and so like it's all seeping into the forest underground.
Also, a little mention. I don't think we showed in this video, but up on those platforms, you can is where the Pride red disc skins are. We already have that because in this build by default you just have all of them. But yeah.
Liwa is canonically gay. It's one of those.
Yeah. Love is canon and Liwa is gay. Actually, they're all gay. Yeah, I'm saying it right now.
You heard it here first.
All right.
I feel like it'd be a little funny if all of them were gay except for Gali. Gali and her gay friends.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Okay. So, do we have anything? Or are we just main objective?
I think we're just going back towards the sanctuary.
Oh no, we're looking for the Slicer guy right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very well hidden, so it takes a second.
Yeah, I did cut a little bit of
I
that
actually
one
don't know
out.
where he is.
Yeah,
I also don't know where he is.
Man, I gotta get a fun
Me neither.
little
I don't think
reveal
I've seen him.
and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see it until
It's gonna be surprising for all of us.
Yeah. I didn't see it.
Did you make an edit? Because it did take us a minute.
I
to
made
find
a little
them.
bit of an edit because we went like complete wrong direction. So in a minute here, we'll cut to it.
We're just taking in the scenery. One thing I wanted to bring up earlier that I didn't get a chance to is we're talking about the cow, and that I know from like a gameplay side was always a bit of a nightmare because like I don't think we ever really were really happy with how the cow worked. Oh, here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go. And he's doing the.
Oh my gosh!
It's another Hafu original.
Yeah.
That's the guy
The
from
nod.
Manok, right?
That's Taipu, isn't it?
No, that's Hayato.
Similar.
So
That's the one.
we do.
That's the one that's taken by Muir Rama. Or am I wrong? In Manok.
Rude.
Why does Liwa turn the opposite direction of the person he's talking to in every single one?
It's a bug because there's something changed about the dialogue system in the positioning system and how they turn to each other. and you have to add a variable, and I didn't add it to all of them, all of the dialogues. So he turns away
Gotcha.
sometimes.
The subsequent ones works fine.
Yeah,
Just the first
yeah.
dialogue after choosing an option.
I like to interpret it as like when he says you're a bit far from home, he's turning around to indicate the the large distance. This one doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, can't explain that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the?
Oh my
the
God,
idea
Lee
of
was
the
stupid. He doesn't even know where the thing is. Sorry, what?
Garrett, do you want to talk about the idea for this? 'Cause it was.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a cheeky little thing. I don't know how far we were gonna take it, but basically the idea that the Slizzers are like the literal prehistoric predecessors of the Bionicle, and there's fossils of the Slizzers all around the island, and this is just one example of one of them they would unearth. I don't know if we were gonna have a whole plot device around that. Probably not. Kind of more just an Easter egg type thing.
Yeah,
I think it was just for fun.
It's gonna be some.
Christy was working on a decal, so it would she worked on making it look more like a fossil, but we never got to implementing it, sadly.
No. And also for that guy, we do have a more proper mining animation, but I just put in that one because I love the Hafu originally.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
I get it.
You can actually see the mining animation in the trailer, in the teasers.
But I get it though, because that mining animation is pretty aggressive. It's like they're trying to actually mine something, but versus you need a chiseling animation for that.
Right. Yeah.
Which would be basically the original. So.
Are we finally gonna
Here we are.
access the?
I believe it is time.
Listen to this is a jam.
Yeah, I remember this track. We made it with Gort and with Essenger. Actually, he made a version, really really good version of the.
Essenger is amazingly good at rebuilding existing sounds. It's really impressive. Actually, it's that's something I'm very good at. Also, Essenger did the beach chant, which was on the title screen earlier in the video.
I remember when we first found his work, he had just uploaded this track, and I first thought oh my god, he found the original stems or something like that.
Oh no!
Are you serious?
Bye, Masanui!
Crash reporter. So cool to see it.
All right, well, can we
Honestly,
let's edit that part out?
I'm glad we showed the crash. I love that crash reporter.
Especially the text the Makuta wants to halt your progress or something. Find him.
The Makuta has crashed the game. Yeah. Also with that cutscene of the gate opening, OniFox also put together a more.
Oh my god! Why is it still in the video?
I thought we'd,
Well, yeah, we still had some stuff.
It's fun. It's fun.
This is how it was.
Yeah.
This game
It's been. Yeah.
Because watch.
This is also one of the bugs that I fixed at least 10 times.
Oh yeah.
It's falling through landscape, falling while fast traveling, falling while loading. I don't know.
That's been a bug since Legacy.
It has actually genuinely since you came on, that version. It was.
I think collectively we've tackled it 20 times over the last 7 years. It's just one of those bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, with that cutscene that played right before the crash, OniFox also put together a more kind of detailed one that just unfortunately didn't manage to get implemented.
Yeah,
but
there was supposed to be some sort of dancing and playing the song kind of ritual and
an extra ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do really love though the sound that you put together, Garrett, of the gate opening and stuff. It's so good, the grinding stones and stuff.
Look, I'm a simple man. I like big doors and I like it when they open. I think my love of big doors might actually be why I'm into Bionicle.
Big doors.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right, take 2.
Let's try it again.
All right.
The spatialization in the audio kind of falls apart a bit when it's happening to music, because that just sounds like it's coming through a Nintendo DS or something at a distance, which isn't really how that would sound.
Oh well.
I did at one point
Love this cutscene so much we watched it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I did at one point advocate for like separating the sound sources so that they could each individually like have their instrument on them, you know, placed on them. But I think we just opted for the one source there.
That actually might
sound
have
like he's
been-
gonna.
Is that?
No,
And
there's no
here's the
cutscene for-
sanctuary.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we get the funny.
There he is!
All right. Well, there's the boss.
I'll see ya.
So there was, here's our boss for the demo. There was a much more detailed version of it that unfortunately never got implemented.
Cutscene. Yeah.
Oh, the cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boss is actually pretty close to done.
Yeah, the cutscene, I should say.
This
And it's
this
very
music
cool.
track is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
so
love
good.
this.
It's very unique from like even from the other tracks in the demo. It was really good to like stand out sort of combat track.
Yeah, this.
I also
I
love
think this is
like
the only different, like the only Rahi that has its own track. I remember.
I think we were just gonna use it for,
I-
like overall.
It's also got a unique model too.
That's true.
Yeah. I really love on the track when it comes on, it's like first and left and then right and then left and then it like
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
starts.
Kind of feels like a
Plays with
bug
that.
swarming around you.
Yeah.
It's got a great presence. I feel like even with the sound design and the animations and everything, it feels very like big and
Intimidating.
threatening.
Yeah. There were so many things,
Ooh.
so many different attacks that are like half working here. Because like that ground slam was meant to have a much wider AoE, and like when he takes off from the ground is meant to push you back and so on. But yeah.
If it wasn't for Kaylie, this wouldn't like gotten half as much.
Kaylie did like half the work for this boss and the AI and the animations and
The
everything.
animations are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think given a lot more time, we probably would have done a lot more balancing also with combat and well, in the sense of like there's a ton of bula berries and stuff throughout the demo, so like but
Yeah.
I think I did reduce like the amount that was there to sort of balance a
we
little
did
bit, but
change that.
And here's another instance of big things in the distance culling too soon because
Oh no! I love the
There it is.
walk up
Nah.
of this whole space.
Yeah.
there it is.
So this whole area.
I think I was concerned of like nothing's keeping the player really at that like big platform. Like I was like, well, they could just run over like into this whole area while fighting that guy.
All right. Well,
it.
this is how the demo ends, and I love that we got this shot with the red star
red
right
star.
above.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Totally,
That's great.
Oh, that's
I mean, it was
beautiful.
really planned, of course.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't just move it around completely.
Oh yeah, and we hide the UI for it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
Oh, the music kicks in and everything. Oh my gosh.
Very nice.
we
great.
get the
Bird.
very cool. And
Man.
then we don't have like a special cutscene. We got around to
That's
that.
it, bye.
Supposed to run credits there. Oh man, well that was 8 fucking years, everybody. How do we feel?
Oh my god.
Hope you liked it.
Now,
I've done this more.
and now for the settings.
Oh, settings menu. You guys like settings?
Show off.
Honestly, for the amount of work these stupid settings do for everyone involved, they do deserve their own like show off.
Exactly. It's like in the sun. Look at all the cool little
like the menu,
accessibility settings.
Yeah.
Hit stop.
Yeah.
And the camera sway.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think between ASCII, Joe, and me and Lucas, a lot of work on the menus.
And here's our credits.
Here's the credits.
Full disclosure, I think I may have
Man.
missed like one or two credits in certain places when I updated it the other day, but I think it's mostly good. Because I think Marco, you asked to be on the website credit, and I think I forgot that.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, it's mostly.
We can post like the
Yeah.
fully updated credits probably like in the description of the video or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Or just maybe just link to the file. Well, I guess yeah.
Well, by the time you're watching
This is
this,
a lot.
you'll know.
There's a lot of credits.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's-
there it is.
It has been really fun working on this game, and as Joe said at the beginning of the video, I mean, I'm really excited to whatever comes next, because the team that we've formed, it's actually a really good team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's super talented.
Like
yeah.
we
And a privilege.
it's been fantastic. This has been an incredible experience, and I'm just really grateful to have been a part of making something like this. I'm really proud of what the entire team was able to do here. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, I said it in like in our private discussions and before, and this has really become sort of my childhood dream realized. I saw this, and it's been what I was thinking about, like way back in 2001 when playing and watching like the pre-animated trailers and everything. It's like this is the game I always wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to say, like
Gianni
during the whole
Lines.
process of where we were working on the game and stuff, the number one thing that kept me, and I think a lot of other people going on it, was that we were doing this thing to kind of like give people a look into like what that kind of game that we always wanted from Bionicle and stuff could look like.
Yeah.
So it was a privilege to work on.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And all the community support over the years has just meant a lot to all of us. So yeah, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for your support.
Hey, there you go.
And you. Oh,
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 hello.
hey, what's up, Joe?
We hope you enjoyed our homage to the Bionicle brand. Although this is only a small slice of what we had
Basically
planned,
saying what
still, we are incredibly
we just
proud
said.
of how the project has
Yeah.
evolved and are pleased to have shared some of that.
I mean, Marco wrote it, so.
We cannot thank you enough for your support over the years. In so many ways, that is what has motivated us to continue through it all. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Bro's got aura.
yeah.
And may the
That was great.
Oh man.
No, good job, everybody. Not the
was
ending
fun.
we hoped for, but it's an ending nonetheless.